Greetings from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I am Ryan Smith, current president of your Master Board. I want to take this opportunity to update you on a couple of items that I know are of interest to Royalwood members. First, as you know, demolition has begun in the Clubhouse for the Clubhouse renovation portion of Project 2.0. Everything is in line for us to receive the construction permits right after the June 11th Collier County Board meeting. The Master Board appreciates the help we received from Commissioner Donna Fiala, who helped speed up the permitting process. The county did give us permission to begin demolition, and the video that Kyle has made has had over 500 hits, so I know many of you have viewed it. Our plan is to continue to use emails and YouTube videos to keep everyone informed. On a project cost basis, I know there are many stories within the community. Not everyone goes to board meetings, and many times statements made by a board member is lost in the discussion. As was said at our last board meeting, we are looking at a Project 2.0 cost of $5.2 million, with a potential of another $300,000 item I'll explain later. We do not need a special assessment to pay for the increase. The board will use Royalwood reserve funds as scheduled in the reserve schedule. Again, there will not be an additional special assessment. How did the project go from $4.75 million to $5.2 million? A good question, and one I wish I didn't need to answer. When the bids came in from the general contractors, the bids were high. We chose Kern Young to work with because they were the lowest bidder, and they were very interested in doing value engineering with the construction committee. I know that at board meetings, John Alessandrello, chair of the construction committee, talked about the ongoing effort and the hard choices we faced. Our goal always was to deliver the scope that was outlined in the project. In fact, I know that many of you were part of the discussions on the indoor-outdoor dining area for the new grill room, and you know that this remains part of the scope of the project. Also, the committee discussed work being done. As we discussed the work being done, some new scope was added, particularly updating the entranceway, the lobby area, as well as updating the offices. It was the right time to do this, and in the reserve schedule, there was money to do much of this work, and it was scheduled for this year. Why not do it? Also, as you know, the Appreciation Committee has allocated a portion of the Appreciation Day funds for the new front doors. There are also many outside factors that impacted on costs. Hurricane Irma occurred, and building material and labor costs went higher. There's a building boom in Naples. All we have to do is look around Royalwood. Subcontractors are very busy. Believe it or not, the tariff increases are impacting material costs, particularly air conditioners, and this has driven these costs higher. And at the last minute, Collier County has decided that we must install an 8-inch gravity sewer line for the new building rather than tie into the existing line. You can't have 3 buildings tied into one line. This has the potential of adding up to $300,000, as the scope they want for us is to lay a new sewer line down Royalwood Boulevard to Rattlesnake Hammock Road to tie into that line. Of course, the stuff in the line is going to the pumping station that is about 100 feet or so away from our new building. Kyle and the contractors are still working on this, so it's uncertain of the cost impact at this time. The good news is that the Master Board believes we have the right to use reserve funds that were projected to be spent in the 2019-2020 reserve schedule, but all were not included in the monies allocated to the project, when the $4.75 million number was put together. These items include, as I mentioned, monies for the office and lobby area, audiovisual equipment, administrative office furniture, flooring, and clubhouse furniture. The total for all the line items listed in the reserve schedule is $1,092,085. So without the new sewer item, the project will total $5.2 million, with the money coming from $4 million from the original special assessment of $5,000 a unit, $75,000 from fees that are for the people who are paying on time, appreciation day funds of $20,000, and as I mentioned, $1,092,085 from the reserves. Total of $5,187,000. This number includes about $80,000 in contingency, which isn't a lot, but we believe we have already covered a majority of the potential hits, and the project team is still working to identify saving areas as we go along. With this plan, the construction committee and the board feels it will deliver the project scope as promised without the need of a second special assessment in spite of the hurdles we have faced. As far as the 8-inch gravity sewer line, Kyle and the engineers are looking at options to reduce the cost. If we can't, then the plan is to include in the 2020 reserves budget a $300,000 future project line item. We would use these funds then to pay for the sewer. This will increase our annual reserves cost, but we will not need a special assessment to cover this item. Of course, there can be other surprises as we do the project. But as of now, the board believes we can deliver on this plan, and we will have a new campus we can all be proud of and enjoy. We will post the reserve line items and the dollars we plan to use on the Royalwood website, as well as a summary of the project costs, so everyone can see the details. And as I mentioned before, we will do information emails and YouTube videos as the project progresses. The other item I wanted to update everyone on is the food and beverage business and the motion the board passed in April. As you may know, at that meeting, a petition was presented that asked the board to allow the decision of private-public to be voted on by the membership. Since 22% of the owners signed the petition, the board is required by law to have a special board meeting to discuss the petition. In working the timing with the petition authors and master board members, it was agreed that the special meeting would be waived and that 1, the board would rescind the notion that the food and beverage business be private and that there would be a minimum. 2, that this fall the club will conduct town hall meetings where we will present to members the options, private or public. The details of each and the impact on each of the club members will also be outlined. And 3rd, the board will schedule a membership vote after these meetings so the members can determine which they prefer, a private club or a public restaurant. On behalf of your master board, I hope you find this information helpful and that your spring season, wherever you may be, is going well. Thank you.